Hey, it's Clay at claytrader.com. This will be my top 10 stocks as we head into Thursday, March 27th. So if you are someone that uses technical analysis within your decision-making process, or maybe you're just interested in learning more about charts and how they can be used as a tool to help make good decisions as a trader, this will be a video for you. First off, a couple of clarifications. Number one, the candlestick that you see right there will be moving around and changing. That is because the market's still open for a small amount of time. But I like to do these videos when the market is still open because sometimes we can capture some really interesting late day price movement. Second, I'll be using the 30-minute time frame, meaning each one of these candlesticks here represents 30 minutes worth of time. So stock number one, we are taking a look at VVPR. Very nice move today. In a sense, almost a case of deja vu. Yesterday, the price made a big move, came back down, and then all of a sudden made a big move and then came back down. Now, this second time, it didn't come down as much, but kind of just broadly speaking, reminds me of what played out over the past couple of days here. But overall, let's get some of the newest levels here mapped out from a support and resistance standpoint. So the first key level to watch moving forward from a pattern standpoint is there is this pullback that has occurred. So we'll get that. And then these trend lines are not exact, but what I'm trying to do is just, convey the fact that there has been a pullback. So like I said, maybe you disagree with the trend lines, and that's perfectly fine. But like I said, all I'm trying to do is show that, broadly speaking, there has been a move in the upwards direction. And then with the consolidation, it's gotten the move up and then now pulled back a little bit. And then just to create this and turn this into a pattern, maybe easier to see, let's keep it all one color. So we have our area of resistance. We have our support. We have the big upwards move right here, and this would be called a bull flag pattern. Now, just because something's a bullish pattern does not mean for sure guaranteed the price is going to go upwards, but is it plausible? Is it valid to think that if the price were to chop around here a little bit more, come up here and get a break up through the top part of the pattern, that break right there could create additional buying pressure? That is certainly a more than plausible conclusion. Not guaranteed, but plausible. So if you like this price range around $5, you like bull flag patterns, here you go. Next one here, PTPI, absolutely monster volume on this one, over 1 billion shares traded. And you got to think a lot of eyeballs will continue to be watching this one. So let's get this pattern drawn into play. So we have that area of resistance right there as a trend line. We have an area down here as our support, so green for support. And then again, just to make sure that everybody sees it, let's keep it all one color. So we have our resistance, we have our support. We have the big explosive move right there. And then for you golfers, try to make it a little bit more visual, put the golf hole down here. This would be a bull pennant pattern. So as I just talked about, just because something's a bullish pattern doesn't mean that it's going to for sure go up. But more than plausible to think that if this can chop around a little bit more, come up here and then get a break up through the top part, that break in and of itself could create additional buying pressure. So if you are a lover of bull pennant patterns, you like penny stocks, here you go. Penny stock with over 1 billion shares traded. Nice technical pattern. So we'll see if another surge of momentum shows up on Thursday. Next one here, a classic GME trying to come back to life, and I'm going to go through this one quicker because you literally just heard me say all this, and I want to respect your time as much as possible. So we have an area of resistance there. We have an area of support right there. And then just to make it sure everybody can see it, resistance, support, big explosive move right there. Golf hole down here, we have ourselves another bull pennant pattern. The biggest difference here is this is not on a penny stock. It's on a little bit more of a quote-unquote expensive stock. So if you like this price range more, you're not a very big fan of penny stocks, but you do like bull pennants, here you go, GME. Next one, TSLL. Pretty rough day. Now, is the overall chart destroyed? It's not destroyed. The price still has plenty of opportunity to build higher bases. But just looking at the action, late day on Tuesday, price came up there, broke up through that level. Things were looking great. And then you can see just the nasty, nasty fake breakout as the price has now come back down. Again, that is more so from a narrower standpoint. From the overall viewpoint, like I said, the price does still have plenty of opportunity to build higher bases. I mean, if you look right there is a low, there is a low. And then, right here, if that maintains as a low, and if you envision these as stair steps. And yes, overall, stair steps still progressing in the upwards direction. But yeah, no doubt about it. If you're some sort of, shorter term trader that was buying that breakout and looking for more continuation, this one did you dirty pretty bad. But nonetheless, that needs to go back to being a key level of resistance. So now 1150, an overarching level of resistance. And more than near term, I'm just going to drop this level down to right here, as I would consider the now new key near-term level of resistance right there at $10.60. And then in terms of support, if this level pulls back more, I would definitely call a must-hold support, that 200 period right there. I'm not saying that this will occur, but if the price were to come down to that area and then break down below. The problem then becomes, well, now the price is all of a sudden essentially gone back to where it was. And I mean, not to insult your intelligence, but price movements that make great moves and then go right back to where they started, not exactly a sign of genuine strength. Again, I'm not saying that's what's going to occur, but that is why, in my opinion, that 200 period moving average right there at $9.15, certainly a very important level of support. Next one, NVDA, and a brutal day here, not necessarily because it was a red day, but because the price has now actually gone down below this sideways channel that we've been tracking for literally the past few weeks. I mean, it's just been chopping around, and today you can see gap down, came down, and then broke down below that level. Now, the good news is, at least it didn't break down and then just keep on bleeding. You do have a little action here where it's gone sideways. So it's still broken down below there, but there's a very realistic chance. You know, you're not being unreasonable to think that on Thursday maybe the price gets back inside of the channel here. But nonetheless, very rough breakdown, and that's where the first key update comes into play, just based on a foundational rule that when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if this upwards move does continue to try to fight upwards, then 114.50 will be that first key level of resistance to watch. If the price does push above there, then the next immediate level of resistance to watch very closely going to be the pink line there, the 200 period moving average, right now valued at, we'll call it 115.80. In terms of areas of support, pretty straightforward right now. Just a question of where did the bleeding finally stop today? Because, yeah, there is a whole lot of bleeding, but that bleeding finally did stop, and it stopped several times right there around basically 112.75. You can see multiple times the bears did try to press down below there, but every single time, basically 4 candles in a row, the bull stepped up every time and said, no, you're not going down any further. And in fact, right now, as I speak, final 30 minutes, you can see there is a bounce underway. But yeah, overall, very rough day here for NVIDIA. Real quick, want to take a break and personally invite you to get signed up for this free live online webinar that I'm offering here very soon. So if you've been enjoying what you've seen and you want to learn more about this tool, how it can and should be used to build consistency and manage risk, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. If you're watching on YouTube, there's a link down below in the description area you can use, or if you're watching right at my website, there's an area on the webpage that you can use to sign up. But like I said, if you've been enjoying, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Next one here, taking a look at SURG. Interesting setup here as we go into Thursday. Key battleground to watch. That area of resistance right there at $2.48. And it's just an interesting setup, at least in my opinion. Big move up, and then the price came down. And, you know, right around this area, it becomes very valid to say, uh-oh, was this a pump and dump? Was this a gap and trap? Is this thing going to bleed right down here, close the gap, maybe go lower? And we got our answer. And as of right now, seemingly no. It was not a gap and trap, because not only did the price level out, there's actually now a little bit of an upward slope to it. So factoring in that upward slope, and then again, looking at this area of resistance, we essentially now have an ascending triangle that is formed, which is a bullish pattern, as I've already said a couple times. Just because something's a bullish pattern doesn't mean it's for sure going to go up. But it just goes back to the idea of plausibility. Is it plausible that if the price comes up here and pushes through there, that break right there could create additional buying pressure? Absolutely. That would just be a technical pattern breakout of the ascending triangle. But all in all, very interesting dynamic. Surge came back down, looked a little sketchy, but now all of a sudden the bulls have started to show back up. And then you look at the last 30 minutes right here, nice solid green candle. So yeah, is a breakout coming of the ascending triangle up through $2.48. We'll see what happens on Thursday, so grab your popcorn. Next one here, PLTR, and rough day as it's pulled back. Now again, from the big picture, the price has still got plenty of opportunities to build higher bases. In fact, as I speak out loud, I'm kind of curious about that. I want to get a trend line in place here and see. Yeah, so okay, so price isn't anywhere close to even that trend line right there. I'm going to go ahead and get rid of these levels as they serve their purpose for now. First key update, just based on the foundation rule that you've already heard, when levels of support are broken and closed below, they tend to act as resistance. So if the price does try to curl itself back up around, that'll be the first kind of question mark. Can the price get up above the 93.70 mark? And you also have that purple line right there, 50 period moving average, which again was a support with the price breaking down below it. You'd expect it to act as resistance. It did act as resistance right there. So continue to watch that. But if the price does pull back more, then again, from a broader standpoint, everything is fine. Not only is the price still above the pink line right there, but it is still above this nice overarching trend line right there. So, you know, and in fact, it's got a big distance to fall to even test that level. And I'm not saying it's going to test it. My point here is that even with the pullback, still plenty of opportunity to stay above the trend line. Still plenty, even more opportunity to stay above the 200 period moving average. So yes, today individually, a rough day, but taking a step back and looking at multiple days as we're doing here, especially just looking at that trend line, the price does still have plenty of opportunity to stay in that overall uptrend. Next one here, OCEA, and this is looking pretty ugly right now, but for you longer time viewers, you know what I'm going to say next. There can be opportunity in the ugly. And this is definitely a situation where if you're not a disciplined trader, I mean, you shouldn't even be trading anyways, but you definitely should not be trading situations like this because as of right now, yes, this is looking very ugly. But with all that being said, the price is approaching a very interesting level, and that is down here where these two moving averages here are basically coming together and essentially the same value. The pink line is that 200 period moving average, purple line is the 50 period moving average, both basically valued at 0.0722. So while there are no guarantees, is it valid? Is it plausible to think that the price could come down here? Whoops, not what I meant to. There you go. Could the price come down here and then get a bounce? Absolutely. So assuming, again, you're going to be disciplined, have stop losses, honor stop losses, all that sort of stuff, relative to what's being risked, even if the price would have come down here and just bounce even like right up to there, a modest bounce, relative to what's being risked, you could be looking at a very interesting risk versus reward scenario. So if you enjoy trading penny stocks, you enjoy playing these sort of opportunity in the ugly circumstances, keep an eye on it. Next one here, SMCI, and this will mean a little bit more to those of you that have watched past videos, but if you have, hopefully you remember me talking about that area of support down there at 3660, and I don't point this out to brag about myself. I do point it out, though, to brag about charts and the tool of technical analysis because while there's no holy grail tool, charts are definitely something that I would argue you should learn. And check this out. I promise I have not moved that line. And look at this big old bleeding that occurred today, and look right where it bounced off of. That line right there. So just crazy, the power of charts. So yes, moving forward, the key level of support remains right there at the 3660 mark. If this bounce continues, there's going to be quite a bit more work that needs to be done. In fact, I'm just going to go ahead and use this line as it's kind of irrelevant now given how far it is up there. So in terms of the first key battleground to watch with any sort of move back upwards, I would keep a close eye on $38.50. And then if the price can push up through there, next levels to watch would be the pink line 200 period and purple line 50 period moving average. But yeah, no doubt about it. Rough move down here. But what I do find also interesting is there was this trend line throughout the course of the afternoon. But looking at it right now, looking at it right now, you can see the price has actually gotten up above it. So is this the start of a bigger move back upwards? Is this the start of a bigger breakout? We'll see what happens going into Thursday. Next one here, TSLA, and this is a tricky chart to talk about from a presentation standpoint because there's a lot of perspectives that go into it. If you are a day trader, flipper, scalper, whatever you want to call yourself, and you were buying right there and your plan was to buy and sell within, the opening 10 minutes of today, yeah, from that standpoint, things are looking very, very rough. Now, if you care about the bigger picture point of view, yes, fair enough, the price has pulled back. But what I am liking about this is check out how the price is really, really respecting that purple line there, 50 period moving average. Prices come down and bounce very nicely off it, including the last 30 minutes here. So as I speak, and market closes here in about 3 minutes. So this is, Tesla's going to close very close to where it's at right now. But you can see a very beautiful bounce off the purple line. This is all occurring on, higher than normal volume. So yeah, while it guarantees nothing, certainly makes it more than plausible to throw out the question, okay, is this bounce, is this momentum going to carry into a bigger move on Thursday? So if it is, then again, as I've said before, just based on that rule, supports are broken. They tend to act as resistance. So the first key battleground to watch will be that 280 mark. In terms of levels of support, yes, preferably speaking, you want to see the price stay above that purple line there. If the price does not hold above it, the next key level to watch closely from a support standpoint would be down there right around the 256.50 mark. But as of now, it's doing a very good job of respecting that 50 period moving average. So we'll see if it continues to do that moving forward. So that wraps up the top 10 stocks. Again, if you like what you saw here and you want to learn more about the tool, then definitely get signed up for the free live class. Like I said, it'll be very soon, Thursday, March 27th at 8 p.m. Eastern Time. So I hope to see you there. As far as these top 10 videos are concerned, if you enjoy these, please do a couple things for me. Hit that like button. And if you're looking for a very free and easy way to support the channel, please hit that subscribe button as it really does help out. So thanks for watching. Take care and make sure you go get signed up for the free class.